Are you ready to lose everything you've prayed for in just one talk? It's possible that the person you're sitting next to on November 16th wasn't sent by God, but by the enemy to stop your breakthrough. This message is not meant to bring fear, it is meant to bring wisdom. If you have been praying, fasting, or asking God for a major breakthrough, then this message is for you. November 16 carries a spiritual significance unlike other days. Many chosen ones around the world have been feeling a shift, an inner stirring, that something is about to unfold. But right before great blessings come, spiritual distractions appear. This is not a coincidence. It is a divine test. Some of you will be tempted to meet or reconnect with someone very close to you around this time, a friend, a family member, or even someone from your past. But hear this truth. Not every person close to you carries the same energy or alignment you do. Meeting them during this specific window can delay or even destroy what you have been trying to manifest through faith. God works in seasons, and not every person is meant to walk with you into each season. Some were meant only for the beginning of your story, not the next chapter. When you meet certain people out of divine timing, their frequency, whether full of doubt, fear, or negativity, can block or contaminate the spiritual flow meant to carry your blessings. Many chosen ones underestimate how sensitive spiritual energy truly is. Think of yourself as a lamp connected directly to heaven's current. You shine bright when you stay plugged in through prayer, obedience, and staying away from low vibrations. But when someone with heavy energy enters your space, it is like someone pulling the plug halfway out of the socket. The light begins to flicker. What does that mean for November 16? That flicker represents interference. It's a sign that the enemy may try to use familiar faces to dim your light right before your manifestation comes to life. Maybe you've been wondering why lately you feel uneasy around certain people, or why your mind becomes clouded after talking with them. That's not random, it's spiritual. The atmosphere on days like November 16 amplifies spiritual currents, both divine and dark. So if your spirit whispers, "Don't go," or "Hold off for now," listen. That's your protection. God's timing often calls for isolation before elevation. When He separates you temporarily, it is not rejection, it is redirection. It is a seal of divine protection placed around your blessings. Meeting or mingling with those out of alignment right now can open spiritual doors that are very hard to close again. There are people close to you who, without knowing, carry the frequency of delay. Maybe they question every idea you have. Maybe they speak words that seem harmless but plant seeds of doubt. Words have power, and doubt is contagious. When you share your wishes, visions, or goals with those who do not carry faith, their disbelief weakens your spiritual armor. The devil doesn't always attack through strangers. He works through the familiar, through smiles, through small talk, through emotional attachment. This is why so many chosen ones lose focus right before a blessing arrives. What if the miracle that has been coming your way for decades is about to be used against you because you are lonely and want to connect with someone? Chosen one, please stop scrolling right now. Don't point, because what I'm about to say is not theory. There is a warning from the Holy Spirit over your life right now. The sky is moving for some reason. The 16th of November isn't just any Saturday. A supermoon is rising, which means that there is a doorway opening in the spirit world. But they're not telling you this. Not every door leads to good things. It takes longer for some. Some lead to bad things. The enemy also knows. He knows you're worn out. He knows how heavy that load has been for 40 years. He knows about the son who doesn't want to call, the sickness that won't go away, the promise God made to you in 1985 that hasn't come true yet. He's sending someone because He knows you're weak. They are going to be on time. They'll say the right things. They will seem familiar, but chosen one confidence is not the same thing as familiarity. A blessing is not comfort. And just because someone is close to you doesn't mean they're meant to be with you. Some of you are about to have a conversation that will take up no time at all for the next 10 years. You won't even see it coming. That's not a belief in ghosts. That is a sign. It tells heaven, I'm awake, I'm listening, and I'm not giving away my breakthrough. Before we go any further, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has helped spread this message. It's not enough for you to sow into a move of God that wakes up the remnant. I'm thankful whether you give or not. It matters that you are here, that you have time, and that you want to know the truth. If this word is hitting you deep inside, let that offering rise as worship. It feels like there isn't much going on tonight. Angels are leaning in, the veil is shaking, and the enemy is setting up his pieces. The world can't see why you were chosen. But if you don't know what to expect on November 16, you might leave empty-handed. Follow me. This goes further. Do you know that every word that is said over you becomes a promise? Do you know that someone close to you is thinking about a version of you right now that could stop the version God is trying to bring into the world? What if I told you that on November 16, those two versions will meet and only one will win? Please pay close attention. Picked. Astrology is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about ghosts or witchcraft. We're talking about something that the prophets of old knew, but that modern Christians have forgotten. God has set times when heaven gets closer to earth. There are times when the spiritual energy is so strong that your thoughts don't just echo, they crystallize. Your words don't just float around, they take shape. That night is November 16th. The big moon comes up, not as decoration or a romantic background, but as a mirror held up to your soul. Everything that was hidden can now be seen. Every wish you've kept to yourself for 30, 40, or 50 years starts to come true all at once, like fragile glass being blown in a furnace. Delicate, strong, and dangerously close to being finished or broken. Daniel, the prophet, knew this. The angel told him in Daniel 10 verse 12, "From the first day you set your heart to understand, your words were heard." But notice that it took 21 days for the answer to get through. Why? Because there was battle in the sky. There is resistance, interference, timing, and atmosphere that matter. And the atmosphere isn't neutral on November 16. It's charged up. Right now, your wishes are coming together. The ones you've been afraid to say out loud. In the invisible world, they're gaining speed. Your son's return has been on your mind. That cure you've been pleading with God for since the year 1987. That big financial break that's been coming for almost 20 years. Now more than ever, they're close. But here's something that the enemy wants you to never find out, and that most people don't know. Everyone you know has a mental copy of you from a different time. Your sister thinks you're the one who never gets things done. Your church friend from long ago, he thinks of you as the person who always had problems. Your cousin still sees you as broken, unable to move forward, and stuck. The line between what can be seen and what can't be seen gets as thin as tissue paper during a super moon. During these times, their timeline of you bleeds into yours like ink dropped in water. What they think about you changes the atmosphere. Their doubts about you pull you toward them. And if you're not spiritually awake and watching over your field, they will change who God says you are. This is why Proverbs 4 verse 23 says, "Guard your heart above all else, for it decides the course of your life." Not just your heart, chosen one, your field, your atmosphere, your timeline. For 60 or 70 years, you've lived with other people's expectations, disappointments, limitations, anger, and unspoken blame from your children, your spouse, and your mother. It's been like a second skin to you. You've worn their doubts like a coat that you forgot you had on. You've also thought about why your prayers seem to be going up in the air. Why does your progress keep stopping? Why do you keep getting so close and then nothing? It's because you've been living in the past of someone else. And on November 16, you will hand someone a weapon if you rush into a conversation or sit down with someone who still sees you as small and stuck like the old you. You're not going to mean to. You'll think it's just a friendly chat, a phone call, or some coffee. You will sign a contract in the spirit world, though. You'll agree with their version, and your breakthrough, the one that has been moving toward you for decades thanks to prayers, will be slowed down or even destroyed. The supermoon is not a light at night. This is a spotlight. It reveals every secret thought someone has ever had about you. You see, beliefs are not passive, my dear. They are imaginative. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he, says Proverbs 23 verse 7. What someone thinks about you doesn't stay in their head. It becomes a spiritual force. And on November 16, when the moon makes everything brighter, their thoughts about you won't whisper, they'll roar. If you keep reading, I'll explain how the enemy uses closeness, familiarity, and timing against you. Once you do, you'll never go to a family dinner, church event, or casual get-together the same way again. People around the world can't understand why you were chosen. A role, a responsibility, or a discovery that will change the course of your family's history. But as you get closer, the attacks become more planned. And the enemy doesn't like to use demons as weapons. Someone you care about doesn't believe in the new you that God is making. This is what I want to know before we go any further. On November 16, who do you want to see? Because that meeting wasn't a coincidence. I'm going to show you something that most preachers won't touch because it sounds too weird. But you need to hear this harsh truth if you're really chosen. The people who love you the most can stop you from making progress without saying a word. I know that doesn't make sense. Thoughts? But they're my family. They pray for me. They want the best for me. Perhaps they do. But wanting your success and having the frequency that makes it possible are two very different things. This is what's going on in the realm of the invisible. Everyone you know has a memory of the person you used to be. Your sister knows that you were poor in 1987. Your brother remembers when you couldn't get a job. Your best friend remembers when you were scared to speak up, too hurt to dream, and too broken to think God still had plans for you. Their spirit still remembers the old you, even though you've changed, prayed, fasted, and cried. So, do you now see me as your enemy? Since I'm telling you the truth. Even Paul the Anointed, the Apostle Paul, saw that the people closest to him became problems as he leveled up, not because they hated him, but because they couldn't figure out how to connect the new him to the old one they remembered. This isn't about psychology. This is spiritual warfare that looks like someone you know. When that supermoon rises on November 16 and the veil between worlds gets thinner, something changes. It turns into a spiritually charged atmosphere. It's like the air itself turns into electricity. And on that day, the beliefs that people around you hold deep down don't just sit there. They are sent out as signals. Take a look at this. Their ideas about you become like an invisible radio tower that sends signals all the time. And if you step into their presence while the stars are aligned, the signal will overwhelm your field of manifestation. It doesn't make a difference how much you prayed. It doesn't matter how strong your faith is. Because you've let them into your soul for so long, their frequency is louder. Some of you have tried to show how strong you are for 30 years. You took care of your kids by yourself. You went on after burying a spouse. You got through sickness, betrayal, bankruptcy, and being left behind. You are a strong person. Your family still sees you as the one who needs help, though. You're still weak. It's still them who needs to fix you. Some of you gave your kids everything, but they didn't understand. You gave up your hopes and dreams so they could have theirs. Now that God has finally given you back what you lost, they treat you badly because you want more. It seems like your time is over and you should be thankful for what you have. There are still people who treat some of you like you're weak, unable, or past your best. Even though you've lived through storms they can't even imagine. The giant killer is not seen. They see the huge monster you hid from. They believe things that are so strong that they cover you like an invisible coat. It makes you feel heavy, even when you don't want to wear it. It sticks to your skin no matter how hard you try to shake it off. The tongue has the power to kill and to live, says Proverbs 18 verse 21. But most people miss this. Death and life are also in how we see things. The way you feel is affected by what other people think about you, and atmospheres either make miracles happen or kill them. The weather where you are will be at its weakest on November 16th. Just enough for breakthrough to get through. The door to the next level is cracked open. It's cracked open just enough for sabotage to get in, though. The enemy is aware of this. He won't send a stranger. Unknown people can't get in. He's sending someone you know, trust, and feel safe with, since you'll let them in. You'll pay attention. You'll take on their doubts, fears, and lack of faith. It will happen so fast that you won't even notice until the door slams shut. I have something painful to say. The more close someone is, the stronger their doubt is. In his own hometown, Jesus wasn't able to do many miracles. Why? Mark 6 verses 5 and 6 says it plainly. He could do no mighty work there, and he marveled because of their unbelief. Jesus, the Son of God, limited by the disbelief of people who knew him when he was just a carpenter's kid. If it happened to him, what makes you think it won't happen to you? Now, I'm going to tell you a story, a true one, and it's going to break your heart. But you need to hear it because some of you are about to make the same mistake. There was a woman, 68 years old, who had been praying for financial restoration for over a decade. Her late husband left her in debt. She'd been clawing her way back, believing God for a miracle. 2 weeks before a supermoon in 2025, she got a phone call, an unexpected opportunity. An investor wanted to partner with her on a small business idea she'd had for years. She was overjoyed. She fasted, she prayed, and then, the night of the supermoon, her daughter came to visit. The daughter meant well, but within an hour she said, "Mom, at your age, is this really realistic? What if the little you have left gets lost?" The woman called the investor 3 days later to back out, and the chance never came back. She later told me, "That night, through tears, I felt something die in me, like a door closing that I'll never find again. There's no chance in that. That's war with the spirit world. And if you're not awake on November 16, it will come after you." Now you need to ask yourself this question. On that day, who do you plan to be with? Also, what's more important? Do they believe in the you that God is calling forward? Could it be that they are still holding on to an old version of you? If it's the second one, you're about to give them control of your life. It could take another 10 years to get them back after you get them. Let me show you how to protect yourself now, because you can get through this. Most people aren't willing to do what it takes, though. Now, let me tell you something that most preachers won't talk about because it sounds too new age, too dangerous, or too weird. But the Bible talked about this a long time before that word was made up. You'll get your wishes candy in less than a minute. Not over many years, not by failing or having bad luck. Just one talk in an hour. One moment of not caring about God on November 16th. Pay close attention. I'm going to talk about something I call manifestation collapse. It's something you've already done if you've lived long enough. You just didn't know what to call it. Do you ever feel refreshed when you wake up on a Sunday? It's like God just gave your bones new strength. You're thanking God. You have hope. You can tell that something good is about to happen. Then someone calls you. It could be your daughter. It could be an old friend. And after that conversation, everything inside you turns gray in 20 minutes. You can't even remember why you were hopeful by lunchtime. You're back in that hole you climbed out of 3 days ago by dinner. There's no chance about that, chosen one. That's contamination by energy. Also, it costs you a day every Tuesday. But on November 16, during a supermoon, when the line between the real and the supernatural is the thinnest, it costs you more than just a day. It brings down the whole structure of what you've been building for years in your spirit. Let me make this clear. At 9 a.m., you feel fine, clear, focused. God has been talking. After that, by 1 p.m., you feel heavy and confused after having lunch with a close friend or family member. It's like someone put a wet blanket over your soul. By 3 p.m., you're worn out and can't even say why. That is the fall. And this makes my heart hurt. This is most likely to happen to seniors. You've been taught to be nice, to be there for people, and to never say no to family or friends. You've learned to say yes, even when your heart says no. You feel bad about giving your time, energy, and attention to people who aren't meant to be in your life. The enemy also knows this. He has been looking at you for decades. He knows just who to send it to. He knows which voice will make you don't listen to your own judgment. He knows which face will make you less careful. It's clear from Proverbs 4 verse 23. Watch out for your heart, because everything you do comes from it. Do not treat your heart well. Not let everyone into your heart. Protect it like a soldier protects a gate, or a bank teller protects a vault. Because on November 16, it's not just smart to keep your heart safe, it's required. You believe I'm being over the top? I'll show you something that even Jesus did. Mark 5. Jairus comes to Jesus in a bad way. His little girl is going to die. Christ says he will go. But when they get to the house, everything is a mess. There was a lot of shock and disbelief in the air as people wailed and panicked. What does Jesus do? The room is clear. Before doing the miracle, he gets rid of some people. God can't get what he wants because of bad energy in the room, not because he didn't have enough power. Even Jesus, who was God in the flesh, knew that some environments are dangerous to enter. Some people have frequencies that don't work with your miracle, no matter how close they are or how much they love you. Then why do you think you don't have to? Jesus took people out of the room. This part will make your stomach turn. The enemy will send someone on November 16 who doesn't look like an enemy. They'll look like they need help. They'll make you feel good. They'll say things like, "I was just thinking about you," or "God told me to check on you." But the chosen one, it's not about what other people say that makes you wise. It's about how you feel when they leave. Have you lost or gained weight? Or do you feel farther away from God? Do you have more faith or more fear? When the moon is full, a wish is like wet cement. It's smooth. It can be shaped. It's all set to be built. But it's also open to attack. One careless step makes the whole thing look bad. The prayers you've been whispering for 40 years will be crushed by one wrong conversation before they can become real. That should not have been put off for so long. I'm not telling you to be scared, though. I'm telling you to stay safe. There's a change. Fear is what drives paranoia. Protection works by being smart. Some doors need to stay closed, says wisdom. Not everyone who knows your name is called to your next chapter. Not everyone who has your number has permission to access your anointing. Even if the person who rings the door looks like family, because I need you to hear this harsh truth. Some of your closest friends and family have been praying against your breakthrough the whole time, and they have no idea it. Their anger, resentment, and unhealed wounds are getting in the way of the spiritual world. When they get close to you on a powerful day like November 16, it's not just a chat, it's a crash.